Guitar Champion, what's going on? Justin Hombach here, back from my practice cave, and welcome to this episode on how to play the instrumental section of The Turning by Symphony X. This instrumental section is one of my favorite instrumental sections by Symphony X. There's a really great key changing in there, some really great sweep picking, some really great arpeggio stuff, and really cool interaction with the keyboard. I really love this section. It makes the song so awesome, beside all that great riffing and the soloing and stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed to make this lesson for you guys. If you want the tabs for this section, feel free to check out the description box. There's a link where you can download the free tabs for this lesson. I hope you will enjoy this lesson. I'm going to play the section first slow, and then we're going to dive right into the lesson. First, we have to check out the keys that we are in this instrumental section. We are starting off in some sort of A flat minor, Hungarian minor. There's the B flat in there and also the major 7. Some people might call it Hungarian minor. I'm not that a fan of. I rather think in intervals. So I think in, well, it's a B flat minor scale with the added flat 5 and the added major 7. A little bit of harmonic minor, but you can call it Hungarian minor if you want to. Then we're going down one minor third to F minor. And then we're going down another minor third to D Dorian. Then we're going to A harmonic minor. And the final section, the sweep section, is again in D Dorian with some sort of really nice change in there. But I don't want to spoil that much. We will see later. Okay. The first section goes like this. This is our A flat minor, Hungarian minor, minor flat 5, minor major 7, whatever, whatnot section. And we're starting with the fifths of A minor, A flat minor. I'm playing an A flat minor 9 arpeggio. So fifths, 1, 9, minor third. In frets we have 6, 6, 8, 9. Playing a chromatical approach from the 9 to the minor third. Going 1 minor third higher, which leads us to the flat 5. Chromatical approach to the original 5. Playing this chromatic idea. Going from the 5th to the flat 5, to the minor 6, normal 5th, flat 5, and to the normal 5th again. So. And frets we have 6, 6, 8, 9, 8, 9, 7, 9, 7, 8, 7, 9, 8, 7, 8. Then we're jumping to the 12th fret on the B string. Again, the minor third in this case. And then we're playing this harmonic minor line from the minor third to the ninth to the root to the major 7. And then we are playing another kind of A flat minor arpeggio, but we're adding the 9th and the 11th. So basically we have a scale run, which leads us to the 5th. 1, 9, again the minor third, but this time I'm going to play it on the 7th fret on the E string to go or to transform this one in this arpeggio shape, because we are needing this for the next part in this section, this little sweeping part. We are starting on the 5th of A flat minor, playing the A flat minor arpeggio, doing a pick, pull, and then an up sweep to the G string. If you have any problems still with 3-picking, or if 3-picking isn't really familiar for you, then check out the beginning shredder series, where I'm going to explain, or where I explaining the basics of sweep picking. You will find this in my channel, or click on the I somewhere around here, the info card. Alright, let's continue. So A flat minor arpeggio. Then we are instead playing the 5th, the minor 6, then again the 5th, and the flat 5. So we have this kind of movement. Minor 6, normal 5th, flat 5. Okay, again. You can phrase this line a little bit with some hammer-on, with a little bit of vibrato. Until this arpeggio section, the subdivision we are in are 8 notes and some quarter notes, but now we are in 60-note pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to the next section, the F minor section. The F minor section looks and sounds like this. We are playing 3 times this arpeggio, this sweep arpeggio idea. 2, 3, and then instead of the 4th time playing this arpeggio, we're playing a scale run. Again. The arpeggio is an F minor arpeggio starting on the minor third. We have the first inversion from our 3-string sweep arpeggio shapes. So we're starting with the minor third, here on the lowest string, the G string, and we're starting again on the minor third on the highest string, the pull-off. So again we have a pull-off from 16th fret to 13th fret, and then sweeping 13, 13 on the B and on the G string. It's really difficult to do the roll technique here. So it's difficult to mute every note. It can happen, or it will be happen, that some notes are ringing. But this is also some kind of purpose here. It's not too bad that the notes are ringing. It's more like this cascading sound, this collection of notes we have in this kind of arpeggio idea. The important notes that you really have to focus on, that everybody can hear this and that you can clearly hear this, are those melody notes. So what are we doing here? We are switching from the minor third to the 4th, which lies on the 18th fret on the E string, going back to the 16th fret, the minor third, and changing to the 9th, which is on the 15th fret on the E string. So we have minor third, 4th, minor third, and 9. And then we're playing the simple F minor scale, descending from the minor third to the ninth, an octave below. From there on we are starting. Back again and playing the scale ascending to the ninth, which leads us to the next part. The next part is in D Dorian, and we are playing a version of descending seventh arpeggios. The first arpeggio that we are going to play is D minor 7 arpeggio. So, with those two pull-offs. We are starting on the 17th fret on the E string. I'm pulling to the 13th fret on the E string, so the 5th to the 3rd. Going to the root, which is on the 15th fret on the B string. And pulling to the 13th fret on the B string, and there we have our 7th, our minor 7th in this case. And then we are playing C major 7th, which is 15, 12, 13, 12. Again, 5th, 3rd, major 3rd, root, major 7th. Then we're playing B diminished, half diminished. Again, 5th, flat 5 in this case, minor 3rd, root note, minor 7, 13, 10, 12, 10. And then we are playing a minor 7. So we have 12, 10, 8, 10. 5th, minor 3rd, root, minor 7. So together we have oops, be aware of the jump. Can be a bit tricky. Okay, this was the third section, the D Dorian section. Now we are getting to the fourth section. The fourth section is really tricky section for our left hand. It's really confusing, or can be quite confusing for our fingers in the left hand. Slow, it goes like this. It's the following pattern. And then this scale idea, this sequence. Okay, let's check out the first part of this section. We are basically playing this kind of phrase. A on the 14th fret on the G string, 15th fret D string, the F. Then we're playing the 12th fret on the D string, the D. Before that we are playing the 14th fret on the D string, the E, then again the 15th fret on the D string, the F, and then playing the 12th fret on the D string. Well, basically we only have this kind of phrase with our pinky and our ring finger. And between those phrases we are changing the notes, we are switching with them. So we have first the 14th fret on the G string, the A, then the 12th fret on the D string, the D. Again. Then we're playing the 13th fret on the B string, the 12th fret on the B string, and the 13th fret on the G string. So we have this one. And because we have a constant movement between our ring and our pinky, this is really tricky for our left hand, because those two love to do things together. And not individually, they love to do movements that are together or that are following to each other, but to switching all the way constantly between those two fingers is not that easy for our brain and for our left hand. And then switching with the other fingers as well, you see, that can be quite confusing, but with a little bit of time and practice, you're definitely going to master this section. So here's a little trick for you guys. First, I played this section like this. I played this with the 4-finger rule. So every finger has its own fret. Everything in the 12th fret is our index. Everything in the 13th fret, middle finger, ring finger, 14th fret, and pinky, 15th fret. But I realized this is even more confusing, and to play it a little bit easier, a little bit more fluent, I was changing just with the index. So Only on the 14th fret on the G string I move with my ring finger. All the rest of it I'm playing with my index finger. Index, 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 index. The next sequence for this section goes like this, which is basically a pretty easy sequence, just repeating in 1 octave. And we're starting on the 11th fret of the A string, which is the major 7, coming from the A harmonic minor scale. And we're playing 11, 14, 12, 14, going to the D string, playing 12, 15, 14, 15, and then playing this in octaves. So 13, 16, 14, 16, 15, 18, 17, 18. Okay, now what is our right hand doing? Well, at first I was thinking about playing the first section starting with an upstroke, because when we're starting it with an upstroke, the transition from one string to another string is a little bit easier because we have outside picking, and for me outside picking is always easier to go from one string to another string because of my pick slant. But then I realized it's really hard to go to the next section, to go from this one, to this section. Because then we have to start it with an upstroke. And you see, it's quite confusing for me. So I trained my right hand to start with a downstroke. And this makes it a little bit harder in the beginning, but smoother in the end. So we have... And you can build up pretty easy speed with it. I highly recommend everybody to check out upward pick slanting for this section when you're starting with downward picking. And if you don't know what upward and downward pick slanting and pick slanting in general is, please check out Troy Grady and his Cracking the Code series. I highly recommend everybody to check out those videos from Troy Grady. Okay, let's continue. So yeah, upward pick slanting and starting with a down pick. So we have down, 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 and now we have the normal alternate picking. Down, up, 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 down, up. Okay, now we're going to the last section of this instrumental part. The last section is in D again, but this time not in D Dorian, this time in D natural minor. And here we have a really cool sweep arpeggio section combined with the pull-off arpeggios from our third part, from the D Dorian part. We are outlining again some arpeggios, nearly the same arpeggios like in the third part and the D Dorian part, but with a little bit of difference. So we have the D natural part and a really cool chord which doesn't really fit into D natural minor, but we're going to check this out pretty soon. Okay, let's check out the first arpeggio. The first arpeggio, the D minor arpeggio, goes like this. We are starting with a regular 5-string sweep arpeggio shape. Nothing really too special, nothing really too fancy about it, pretty simple, pretty basic. And then we're adding the pull-off arpeggio from the third part, getting the minor 7 into this arpeggio. Okay, now we're going to C major. First we're playing a regular 5-string sweep arpeggio, 5-string C major sweep arpeggio shape. Then we are adding the pull-off arpeggio, but this time not with the 12th fret on the B string. No, we are in natural minor now. We have to play the 11th fret on the B string, getting a C7 sound, not a C major 7 like in the D Dorian part. This time it's C7. Okay, and after that we are going to B flat major 7, but we are starting with a pull-off arpeggio and playing a little bit of a variation. We're playing it like this. Again. So we're starting with a pull-off arpeggio, playing the 5th, 3rd, root, major 7, going now back to the root, the 3rd, and then we're going to the major 6, pulling to the 3rd, 5th, pulling to the third and playing the 5-string sweep arpeggio to the last note on the A string. So we don't play it ascending, we're just playing it descending, the arpeggio, the 5-string sweep arpeggio. So again we have sorry, we are adding the pinky on the 13th fret on the A string. We are not finally landing on the 8th fret on the A string. We are playing the hammer on as well. And now we're going to the really cool and special chord, the E7, E dominant. Well, the E dominant basically is an chord. Well, the E dominant is basically a chord which guides us to A minor back again, or A major. It's the dominant of A. But after this we're going back to D. So this doesn't make harmonically much sense, but it sounds really awesome. Somehow it really fits really great into this arpeggio section and resolves back to D minor. Yeah, we're playing the E major like this. So we're starting with the 5-string sweep arpeggio shape, this time this shape, with the 3-finger roll technique. 3 strings roll technique, 1 finger roll technique. Pulling from the 12th fret to the 7th fret, jumping to the 3rd on the E string, the 16th fret, pulling to the root, so 16, 12, jumping to the 5th on the E string and playing the 5-string sweep arpeggio shape, which is basically the same fingering like on the C or on the B flat. This time E. And then from here on we have to jump to the beginning from our D arpeggio again. So this is a little tricky, but still possible. After thinking a bit about the E7, the E dominant 7, I think the reason why it resolves pretty well into the D minor, well, why are chords resolving in other chords? It's because of guide tones. We have notes that are a half step underneath our root note or under target note, and the guide notes are leading into those root notes or into those target notes. And for example, when we are going from E dominant to A minor, we have the 3rd, which leads into the root, or we have the 5th, which leads into the minor 3rd of A. Yeah, so we have some notes that are guiding, that are leading into the next chord, into our root chord. And we still have some notes in the E dominant, which leads into D. For example, the 3rd of E leads into not the root note from D, but into the 5th of the D. Or the E leads into the minor 3rd of D. So there are some notes which create some tension and can resolve into D minor. Certainly there is a special name and fancy name for this kind of chord progression, like the Neapolitanische Sechste, which is in English, that's this German Neapolitanische Sechste, in English it's maybe Neapolitanian 6, something like that, I don't know. But there are definitely some fancy name for this kind of chord progression, but I don't know it right now. If you know it, leave it in the comment, write me down in the comment. So this was the final part of the instrumental section from The Turning by Symphony X. This was a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to play. I love this section. It sounds so cool with the keyboard in the background playing the melody and stuff. Really awesome section. If you like the video, then feel free to subscribe or to like the video. I hope I'm going to see you in my next video, my next cover, or my next Michael Romeo lesson. Yeah, I hope I'm going to see you there. Stay progress, and cheers.